Marching Band, and we're talking to the director of the Tennessee State University Marching Band, Mr. Edward Graves. And of course, Director Graves and Professor Graves, before we had our break, we promised that we would come back and we would talk about that extraordinary Tennessee State University Marching Band, the aristocrat of bands, I think it's called. Let's have you to give us a little history about that band and talk about it from the way that you'd like to talk about it during this segment.
Okay. The band, as we know it today, had its beginning when Dr. Walter Davis, then president, brought Mr. Chavis in to organize a band. Of course, during that time, Mr. Chavis was an innovator with the marching band because he did things like adding lights to the band members. They would turn the lights out in the stadium, and the band members had lights on their feet and in their caps and things, which was very unique at that time. And things went from there, was very innovative, and Tennessee State's band was quite famous for that. And at the time, they got a lot of national exposure by playing in the Capitol Classic in Washington, D.C. So after that, Mr. Chavis' tenure, Mr. Frank Greer, who was my band director at Tennessee State, came in, I believe it was 1951 or so, and started the marching band. And they called it Marching 100, I believe. And during that particular time, band bought new uniforms. Dr. Davis was very instrumental in that. And they came up with the term the aristocrat of bands. And they fashioned it after the way that the band was dressed, because we had the change of uniforms and a lot of different stuff that nobody else had. And of course, at that time, because of the band played jazz music, popular music, show tunes, and classical music, with a total array of type of performances that were done, the term aristocrat of bands was applied. During Mr. Greer's term, band, of course, started its television appearances at National Football League games, which was a big thing at that time. And during the time that I was there, we did a national television thing from Baltimore with Baltimore Colts. And then the biggie out of that, the Tennessee State's band was the first band from a historically black institution to appear in an presidential inaugural parade. And that was in 1961, I believe, for President John F. Kennedy. And I was a student in the band at that time. So things continued, and then in 1979, I was asked to come, and of course we very eagerly accepted and came and to rebuild the band program, so to speak. They had some misfortune with a strike and a lot of different things that happened to cause the numbers to fall a little bit. So the administration at that time was very eager to have a strong program, and we were fortunate to be able to come. We came with a former schoolmate here in the band, with Mr. Benjamin Kirk, and I were working together in North Carolina. And we came in, and Mr. Thomas Davis, who's still with us, was here at the time, so he joined us, and we started. During the time since we've been here, we've been able to do several national television appearances. We've done a TV movie, I believe it was called The Concrete Cowboy, something like that. So we played at several National Football League games, and since during that era, it was popular for college football games to be